All right, Trump is like this close to losing the Republican majority in the House, and in the process, we have watched American politics become a full-blown reality TV show. I can demonstrate that to you just by showing you what's happened over the past 24 to 48 hours in the world of Donald Trump. But keep in mind, this is what voters wanted to an extent. I mean, I really think most voters wanted lower grocery prices, but what they're gonna get is a reality TV show that is so obnoxious, so in your face, and bizarre, and far right that it's gonna be hard to tune out over the next 4 years, and this video will be Exhibit A, because the series of events that have taken place over the past 24 hours had me dying laughing last night, and I can't wait to show them to you. Make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and before we dig into last night, let's go 2 days back. 2 days back, we learned that Donald Trump chose literally his favorite Fox News anchor. His favorite Fox News anchor is now going to become the Defense Secretary of the United States, in charge of millions of people, in charge of billions of dollars in budget. And he literally, his qualifications are just Fox and Friends weekend. This tweet reads, "So we're replacing a former 4-star general as Defense Secretary with the weekend co-host of Fox and Friends. Unbelievable. Just wow." And of course, this was the first sign that we're about to re-enter this era of reality TV politics. Not that we ever really left, but Trump is really amping it up because all of the people leading our biggest administrations will be like his favorite Fox News hosts. But then, last night, this bombshell dropped that had everybody stunned. Even Republicans were stunned. This reads, "Trump to nominate Florida's Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General." Now, Matt Gaetz is currently being investigated for sex trafficking, for sleeping with an underage woman, and that's where this story takes a massive turn. So Matt Gaetz was so out of pocket, so out of left field, that even Trump's closest advisors were caught off guard, which is insane because they had a list of people they had vetted and interviewed for the Attorney General position, which, keep in mind, the AG of the United States is the most powerful law enforcement official in the country, the most powerful person. So they need to be very serious. They need to be very qualified. And Trump's team had a list of people that I don't want to say were qualified, but they were on a different level from Matt effing Gaetz, the dude who is being investigated for sex trafficking. So Trump randomly throws out Matt Gaetz, and this is where shit hits the fan. So only about an hour after Donald Trump drops this bombshell out of left field saying that Matt Gaetz, some random inexperienced loyalist from Florida, is going to be the fucking AG of the United States, which is so unprecedented, so insane, we learn that Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress. He completely resigned his role. He dropped last night, just 2 hours after Trump made this announcement. Now, this is unprecedented for a few reasons. Usually, you don't resign until you go through Senate confirmation. So when Donald Trump makes an announcement or an appointment, they're not automatically in that role. They have to get confirmed by other Republicans in the Senate, and Matt Gaetz is very likely to get confirmed because many other Republicans hate this dude for obvious reasons. This dude used to come into work, according to other Republicans, and brag about girls he slept with. He would brag about snorting erectile dysfunction pills and then chasing it with an energy drink like a college student, which, I mean, yeah, if you're a 19-year-old going to ASU, that's probably fine, but if you're Matt Gaetz in Congress, that is not acceptable whatsoever. So, broadly speaking, the fact that Matt Gaetz randomly resigned before even getting confirmed is weird. Nobody knew why. It's ballsy. It's not only ballsy, but it seems desperate. And the reason why it's ballsy is because Matt Gaetz, there's a very high chance he doesn't get confirmed, so he just lost his seat. Everybody was wondering why, but you've probably read from this title, Matt Gaetz resigns ahead of key ethics committee meeting. So we then learn that even Mike Johnson was caught off guard. Listen to this.
I think out of deference to us, he issued his resignation letter effective immediately of Congress. That caught us by surprise a little bit, but I asked him what the reasoning was, and he said, well, you can't have too many absences. So under Florida state law, there's about an 8-week period to select and fill a vacant seat. And so by doing so today, that allows me, I've already placed a call to Governor DeSantis in Florida and said, let's start.
Okay, so he's citing the reason that is basically the main thesis for this video that we'll get to, which is Donald Trump is getting dangerously close to losing his House majority. But as you can hear, he said that it even caught him by surprise. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was caught by surprise, not only by Matt Gaetz being chosen, but by Matt Gaetz dropping out. And listen, because this is where it becomes a straight up reality TV show. So about 30 minutes after Matt Gaetz resigns completely, we're all sitting there shocked, wondering why, we get this breaking news report from Jake Sherman in Punchbowl News. It says, Representative Matt Gaetz's resignation from Congress came 2 days before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on releasing a highly damaging report outlining its investigation into the Republican, according to multiple sources familiar with the probe. So Matt Gaetz dropped out 2 days before Congress was going to come out with a new report probing into his past behavior with underage girls. The committee planned to vote Friday on releasing the report. Ethics loses its jurisdiction over Gaetz when he leaves Congress. Again, ethics will lose its jurisdiction over Gaetz since he resigned yesterday, so it no longer can release the panel. The secretive panel has been investigating Gaetz on and off since 2021. President-elect Donald Trump announced that he would nominate Gaetz to be the Attorney General on Wednesday out of left field. It gets crazier, but this brings us back to Gaetz resigning. Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida resigned from Congress just before the House Ethics Committee was set to hold a pivotal meeting on the investigation of him. And again, Gaetz could have a difficult time getting confirmed in the Senate, as many Republicans reacted to his nomination with shock and horror. And we're not just saying this. Republicans genuinely do not like Matt Gaetz. Well, Republicans in Congress, I should say. The Republicans that interact with him on a day-to-day basis do not like Matt Gaetz. The Ethics Committee was set to meet later this week on its investigation of Gaetz, and he dropped out right before. But this is where it gets even wilder. I know I keep saying that, but Tommy Vitor of Pod Save America then posted, Florida politics. Man, what a state. And just let me read this excerpt from this article. If he's confirmed, Gaetz would be the first Attorney General to be investigated by the Justice Department for sex crimes. The probe grew out of a parallel investigation into his former friend Joel Greenberg, who was elected tax collector of Osceola County in Central Florida in 2016. Gaetz met his previous girlfriend through Greenberg, who was an avid drug user and who frequently procured young women for sex through the dating site Seeking Arrangement, where Greenberg met the 17-year-old at the center of the sex trafficking case. Greenberg engaged in a wide array of crimes. Again, Greenberg was Matt Gaetz's best friend, one of his closest business partners, and he got caught. He got busted for sex trafficking. Greenberg engaged in a wide array of crimes, including an attempt to frame a political rival as a pedophile in Florida. He was subsequently indicted 3 more times for other crimes, including fraud and identity theft. After Gaetz refused to help him get a federal pardon from Trump, Greenberg then attempted to implicate Gaetz in the sex trafficking case, prompting the FBI to seize Gaetz' cell phone in December of 2020, and everything has spiraled since then. Let's just go back to this first sentence. If Gaetz is confirmed, Gaetz would be the first Attorney General to be investigated by the Justice Department for sex crimes. What an absolute effing mess. And this is Matt Gaetz, Botoxed out of his mind at the RNC, just yapping.
You can no longer bribe Democrat senators with cash alone. You have to use gold bars just so the bribes hold the inflation.
The Babylon Bee had a headline like, Matt Gaetz, AG pick, raises eyebrows, and it used this picture of his eyebrows just absolutely messed up. But this brings us on to the next part of the video. Cammy on Twitter writes, another one. Trump taps Representative Gaetz to be his Attorney General. We already broke down why that's absurd for other reasons, but that's the 3rd House Republican to be nominated for cabinet positions so far. This could get tricky for the House majority next year because GOP leaders have already been expressing their concerns about the math. For example, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, according to the New York Times, begged and pleaded, again, Johnson said he has, quote, begged and pleaded with Trump to stop poaching House Republicans to protect the majority. That is so funny. He has begged and pleaded. And by the way, Trump made a joke during a closed-door meeting with Republicans yesterday saying, I wish I could take all of you. I would take 15 to 20 of you House Republicans if I could, which you know that had Speaker of the House Mike Johnson absolutely sweating. But even Sean Spicer tweeted out yesterday, and he's a conservative figure. He said, full disclosure, I did not take math in college. I mean, yeah, we can tell. But Stefanik, Walz, Gaetz, those are 3 House Republicans Trump has already chosen. House Republicans currently have 220. 220 seats. You need 218 for a majority. Math isn't my strong suit either, but these are 3 names, and that puts them below the 218 threshold. Now, I don't want to give you guys too much hope because there are special elections that will be held. DeSantis may be able to even appoint people into certain seats over the next 30 to 60 days, so they will regain their majority. But it's kind of funny that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson has to beg and plead for Trump to stop poaching people. Let's watch some reactions of Republicans to Matt Gaetz being chosen. Now, this one is really funny.
I'm having trouble.
What about Matt Gaetz?
He gets asked, he goes, I'm having trouble hearing regarding Tulsi Gabbard. Listen.
I'm having trouble.
What about Matt Gaetz?
We have a confirmation process.
I don't know yet. I think about that one.
Do you have any concerns about it?
We'll see.
Do you think Matt Gaetz is confirmable?
We'll find out, won't we?
Senator Kennedy, what do you think of Matt Gaetz as Attorney General?
Happy Thanksgiving.
None of them want to answer. I think my favorite one is the guy who just bluntly said, we have a confirmation process. Listen.
We have a confirmation process.
That's basically him saying no shot it's going to get through. That's why we have the checks and balances. But keep in mind, Trump wants to subvert the confirmation process. He wants to use recess appointments, meaning that he can appoint people without Senate confirmation, with no checks and no balances, to push Matt Gaetz through. Here's even Senator Susan Collins saying that she was shocked.
I was shocked that he has been nominated. If the nomination proceeds, I'm sure that there will be an extensive background check by the FBI and public hearings and a lot of questions asked.
Yep, and that will be some insane stuff. Just to bring it back, that will be reality television. If Matt Gaetz is sitting there being asked in his tan skin and his Botox face about his sex trafficking allegations from years back, then yeah, that's going to be insane, especially if it ends up with him becoming the Attorney General. Here is Tommy Tuberville threatening Republican senators who might vote against Gaetz. Again, Tommy Tuberville threatening Republican senators saying, we're going to get you out of the Senate if you dare vote against Donald Trump's picks.
Matt Gaetz get the votes in the Senate?
I don't know. You're finding all the swamp creatures coming out right now. Everybody's got an opinion up here, but at the end of the day, President Trump was elected by an enormous vote, and he deserves a team around him that he wants. It's not us to determine that.
It wasn't that enormous. Trump won the popular vote by like 1.5 to 2 percentage points, maybe. It's like what Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by.
We've got 53 votes in the Senate. We can confirm with 51. I've already seen where a couple of them says, I'm not voting for him. Wait a minute. You are not the United States of America. You have one vote in the U.S. Senate. You did not get elected president. Vote with President Trump. This is the last chance we're going to have of saving this country. And if you want to get in the way, fine. But we're going to try to get you out of the Senate, too, if you try to do that.
He is threatening senators and swing states, saying if you don't vote with Trump, you are screwed. In the same way that Elon Musk said he will help to primary any House Republicans who vote against Donald Trump. The reality TV show continues. We'll be here to break it all down. Thank you guys for being here with me. Love you guys. Drop a like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and peace out.